Hello everyone, welcome back to Popped. My name is Josh and today I'm very excited to be talking about Peacemaker Season 2. Before we get into Season 2, let's quickly recap where we left off. In Season 1, Chris Smith, better known as Peacemaker, teamed up with Clemson Mern, Adebayo, Hardcore, Vigilante and John Economos to save the world from the alien butterfly invasion and their quite grotesque cow. The victory came at a cost, though, with Adebayo exposing Argus and Task Force X, which included her mother, Amanda Waller, to the world, and Chris left dealing with the guilt of killing Rick Flag Jr. That fallout perfectly sets the stage for Season 2, which is where we find our characters. For anyone who saw Superman last month, the story picks up about 1 month after the events of that film. James Gunn has been very explanatory about how the canon will work moving forward. Moments from the Suicide Squad, Season 1 of Peacemaker will be acknowledged. So whenever past events are brought up, either through flashbacks or actual sort of dialogue within the series, they're now to be reframed and considered canon within the new DCU. So we might see a scene from the Suicide Squad or Season 1 in a recap of sorts. And those moments will be able to be given a new, fresh context maybe. And it really does a lot to sort of flesh out this new growing universe with how many projects is it? Like 3? One of the clearest examples of Gunn selling DCU now is through the introduction of the Justice Gang, who do appear in this season. A big focus for this season for Peacemaker especially is him searching for a purpose. He's not really satisfied with where his life is, especially after saving the world in Season 1. And he's really determined to be part of something bigger this time round. That theme also really runs across multiple characters this season. It's not just Chris, but it is his journey that really drives this thread of themes home. We also get to see Sean Gunn much more in his new role as Maxwell Lord. Obviously, he made a brief appearance in the latter end of Superman last month. But the real highlights for me, especially from the Justice Gang, are Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl, who show up in the premiere alongside Lord. They're holding these sort of secret recruitment interviews for the Justice Gang, and it perfectly sets the stage for Chris's arc of wanting to belong somewhere this season. One of the coolest things about Season 2 is how many DC and DCU references are packed in from the right from the beginning up until the end of Episode 5. There's constant nods to existing characters that we've seen before, both in the DCU but also in the extended universe before, and there are plenty of story threads that are carried on from Superman, which is great to see. This season deals with a parallel universe, and there are even some really cool, interesting sort of gimmicks and plays on things that we've already seen in our DC universe that sort of happen in these blink and you'll miss them moments. But it's really layered, and it helps the show feel really connected as a universe, but also as we are hopping in between the other one as well. John Cena might be having one of the best years of his career. Not only has he kicked off his WWE retirement run with all the fanfare you'd expect from that, I was very fortunate to go on Cinema Savvy the other week to talk about SummerSlam Night 2. I will plug that in the description if you want to go check that out. But obviously, he's made a huge splash this year from his crowd-pleasing cameo in Superman to now making a return for Season 2. And you can tell straight away that Cena is loving every second of being back in this role. It's not just the performance, he's got that whole attitude around it, whether it's showing up at the premiere on Wednesday night in full costume, fully decked out, really selling the show, or appearing on Jimmy Fallon Live as well, and he's in that costume as well. He's so committed to this role, and that tells you everything you need to know. He's proud of this character. He knows the fans love him, and he's having as much fun playing Peacemaker as we are having fun watching it. And of course, Peacemaker wouldn't even exist without the Suicide Squad, released in 2021. And James Gunn really makes sure he is circling back consistently to the story. A huge part of that comes from the introduction, or reintroduction, should I say, of Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr. This is now obviously his 3rd time in the role, having voiced the character in Creature Commandos, appearing in Superman, and now this is his 3rd time. He really clearly knows his character, and it really shows in this season. Grillo, who Marvel fans will know as Crossbones in the MCU, brings a really brutal, almost feral energy to Rick Flag Sr. this time around. Very different from how he was portrayed in Superman, that more sort of governmental role. He's now the acting director of Argus, so his entire arc has a bit more weight to it. He's a character that is driven by rage. You know, he is now hunting down the man who murdered his son, and it really gives the season an undercurrent of real danger. This time around, even more so, the stakes feel high, there's tension throughout, and it constantly puts you on edge, thinking at any moment something could go wrong, and any of our main sort of characters might not be able to make it out alive. Season 2 really dials up the action to the next level. We've got even bigger, sharper, and more inventive set pieces. And Eagly, everyone's favourite Eagle, finally gets more time to shine, kicking plenty of butt across the season before coming face to face with his biggest rival yet, an Eagle Hunter, played none other by Michael Rooker. The rest of the supporting cast really step up again this season, giving us a nice mix of comedy and heartfelt moments that really balance out Chris's larger-than-life performance. I will say, though, however, as much as I loved him in Season 1, Stromer's vigilante takes much more of a backseat for most of the first 5 episodes. Doesn't mean he's wasted. I think he has one of the funniest scenes in the whole season, where he is helping Peacemaker through probably what is their messiest cleanup job yet. Just his reactions and his comedic timing to things that you shouldn't be reacting to, and the way he does is brilliant. But Jennifer Holland Harcourt is clearly the sort of the second main character this season. She has such a pivotal role in terms of Chris's human trauma as he is jumping between dimensions, and her story really ties in that so well, and it gives him quite a lot of needed grounding. We see Peacemaker and this sort of alternate dimension Peacemaker really struggle with a lot of things, and James Gunn is not very subtle in the way he does it, and I think it's quite eye-opening. You would expect this to be a comedic action series, but there are some real sort of human moments that really sell this show, especially this season. Economos as well, he's holding things down at Arc still, but he's also got a really surprisingly strong comedic thread once again, thanks to his new dynamic with returning character Judo Master, but also a fresh character, Langston Fleury, played by the great Tim Meadows. Judo Master in particular does get a bit more dialogue this time around. He brings some incredible sass, some campiness and one-liners which really turn into some of the show's best running gags. Peacemaker Season 2 takes what worked so well in the first season and polishes it with sharper storytelling, higher stakes, and much more inventive action. The cast brings their A-game, including Cena as both Peacemakers, Grillo as Flag Sr., as well as Tim Meadows, who is probably the hidden gem of this season for me. I find the new focus on Argus far more compelling, grounding the show without losing its sort of eccentric personality. The comedy still lands, the action is more ambitious, and as I said, the supporting cast continues to shine. Right now, I'm giving this season a 4 out of 5, making it a strong return that keeps Peacemaker at the top of DC TV's output. For even more Peacemaker coverage, you can head to popnews.com, where JJ is leading our in-depth dive into Season 2 with a full review, which is now live, as well as breakdowns and detailed Easter egg articles, which are to come with the release of this series. If you're enjoying our work over here on YouTube, please make sure you are liking, subscribing to the channel, and continuing to support us with all our upcoming reviews, reactions, and so much more.